Ty Lue and Chauncey Billups, somebody who you know very well. You covered him.
Rookie year.
Head coach and lead assistant for your Los Angeles Clippers. Look, the Clippers, rightfully so, once again, the butt of many a joke. Fired Doc Rivers, but I like it. I like it. How you feel about it? And should Clippers fans be excited because they're still the Clippers? And there's still a lot of questions about the makeup of that team. And it's not a dramatic departure, one wouldn't think, because while Ty Lue is his own coach and certainly had success in Cleveland, he was an assistant on this very team that collapsed. So how do you feel about it? But more important, Michael, how should Clippers fans feel about it?
Well, it's a good question, Mike. First of all, as you mentioned off the top, I'm happy for Chauncey Billups, lead assistant. He came into the league after his sophomore year at Colorado, joined Rick Pitino's Boston Celtics. So it was Rick Pitino's first draft pick. They thought they'd get Tim Duncan. They wound up with Chauncey Billups. So Chauncey Billups.
And Ron Mercer, right?
Draft.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
And listen, Billups, from the start, I can say this, it's on record. I wrote this as early as 1997. I was saying that Billups, even at 20 years old, very wise cat, just had a way about him. And even then,
everybody respects him.
Yeah, he had to bounce around a little bit before he found himself, and I'm glad he found himself as a player, Finals MVP in 2004, and then was a great commentator. I think he's going to do a great job as a head coach. And Ty Lue, as you know, Mike, look, championship coach. So it's not like they got some scrub. But this is what I'm concerned about for the Clippers. Ty Lue was on Doc Rivers' staff in Boston, clearly on the staff again with the Clippers. Mm-hmm. According to reports, Mike, Doc Rivers told Steve Ballmer, the owner, hey, this is what we need. What we need is a change in attitude. What we need is a little more professionalism, I guess, whatever he said. And Steve Ballmer didn't like that answer and goes to Ty Lue, when Ty Lue was a part of that same staff.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you think is going to change? Or you think they needed a different voice? He didn't like the message? So maybe it was the right message from Doc, but he didn't like the messenger? Or maybe it was just like the totality of, hey, I'm still mad that you guys lost to Oklahoma City when you were up 3-1. I'm still mad at that. So this is not really about the bubble and the collapse against the Nuggets. This is about old stuff. Maybe. I don't know. It just seems like a cosmetic change.
So, all right, couple of things. I said I liked it. Let me kind of rattle off the reasons why. One, we got another black coach. Let's get that out there. You know what I mean? There's a vacancy, and I know Ty Lue's name was always a favorite, but we got another black coach in the NBA, and Chauncey Billups gets an opportunity as a lead assistant. All right, so that's progress on that front. So that's one. Two, in a vacuum, if somebody were hiring Ty Lue, given his credentials, you'd say it's a good hire. So, because he was in a mix in Houston and maybe some other places, you say it's a good hire. So I think it's a good hire. It's good to see him get another opportunity. Three, and this is why I asked the question to you the way I did. It feels like there's some continuity here, and the wrong kind of continuity if the goal was to kind of shake things up a little bit. But I wonder, and I think what it says, though, and you and I both said this, I mean, Doc, only coach ever to blow 3-3-1 leads. There's a lot of blame to be placed at his feet for what happened this year against Denver. However, I think you and I both knew that Doc alone wasn't the problem. And there were a lot of mitigating and extenuating circumstances, whether it was the lack of chemistry that this team had this year, guys going in and out of the bubble for various personal reasons, the collapse of playoff P of Paul George. There's a lot of reasons why this team lost to a very good Denver team. And so I think what it says more than anything is that there was something fluky. Even though we're talking about the Clippers, there was something fluky about last year, and it was not necessarily an indictment of the organization's direction in its entirety. I say all that to say, Michael, I look at this next season and I feel like I am Charlie Brown. If I'm a Clipper, I'm acting like a Clippers fan right now. I feel like I'm Charlie Brown and the Clippers are Lucy, and the football that is, the conference finals they're about to yank it from me again because I'm talking up the Clippers, and we've seen how any movie, regardless of the characters and the supporting actors and the plot line, we've seen how any and every movie when it comes to the Los Angeles Clippers ends. We've seen it. However, you're telling me you're running back a squad with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, who can't be, listen, even if he's just relegated to All-Star, versus star or superstar. Stock's down.
Get that.
But
get
even
that stock
still,
cheap.
You got to think that this team will, I don't want to say rally, that's lazy, but realize what an opportunity it has in front of them. Because as you pointed out from the beginning, they got 1 year to get this thing done. Ty Lue's got a 5-year contract. They got 1 year to get this thing done with this group. You got to think that they can build. If they have anything inside of them, if this team has anything inside of them whatsoever, okay, they will take what happened this year and use it to fuel them next year. They'll take watching the Lakers hoist another banner or claim another Larry O'Brien and fuel them going into next year. So I'm optimistic about it, even though we're talking about the Clippers. You know what I mean?
Man, you know what? You just said something here. Did
I? Because I said a lot, and at one point I was like, "Am I making any sense?" But what did I say that caught you up?
No, it got me. It got me. Well, a couple things you talk about. I feel like it was really fluky last year, a little bit of a fluke.
Something, and I don't want to disrespect the Nuggets. I don't want to disrespect the Nuggets.
But but I can hear O'Shea Jackson saying it wasn't no fluke. I can just hear his voice, O'Shea Jackson Jr. just having a good time with this. But the other thing is, Mike, it just strikes me that this is a good job that's going to become a horrible job in a year. Like, you can see it coming. So he gets this 5-year contract, and coaching being what it is in the NBA, he's not going to get through the 5-year contract. Because think about it, Mike. Look, unless Kawhi stays and Paul George stays, you got 1 year. And he's done it before under pressure. That's how he won his first championship. David Blatt out, Ty Lue in. He gets them fixed up in short time. Boom, boom.
We'll talk about windows. Winning with LeBron is every year is a championship or bust when you coach LeBron. So he's done with that.
Championship at that. And a historic championship. So he can win quickly. But just think about it. After this year, and those guys bounce, you don't have them, nor do you have picks. So you're stuck. No Kawhi Leonard, no Paul George, no pick.
Okay.
So you gotta act fast.
But you got an owner. Unlike one we're gonna get to in a second down in Houston, you got an owner that you know is gonna spend, that you know is gonna spare no expense when it comes to putting this team in position to succeed. Well, he got a lot of money. So I get maybe not draft capital and this, that, and the other. He got a lot of money, okay?
Nice post-game spread.
He's aggressive.
The plane
Listen,
is good.
Michael, you are talking to the person. You know this. When they were playing the Nuggets, we are switching roles right here. We're switching roles in real time.
I know.
When they were playing the Nuggets, I'm like, do not fall for this banana in the tailpipe again. These are the Clippers we're talking about. They are coming apart before our very eyes. The Nuggets are going to do this. You were like, no, they're the better team. They're the better team. So let's just wipe the slate clean. We're on to next year. You're telling me going into next year, you don't like a team led by Ty Lue and Chauncey Billups with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Pat Bev, Montrezl Harrell. I mean, like them. They still have a good team. They're still considered one of the favorites in the West. They're untrustworthy as hell, but they got a good team.
That's right. They got a good team. Yeah, they have a good team. Are they much better? Okay, how about this? Are they so much better with this move? If you look at it now, the slate is wiped clean. Now let's reset it. Run it back. Nuggets versus Clippers. Who do you like? You know what I mean? Like, they're a good team, but the Nuggets are – now we know the Nuggets are good. We know the Lakers are champions.
I would pick the Nuggets ever so slightly, but they were up 3-1 for a reason. Dallas
with a superstar. First,
the Warriors will be back.
Player.
The Warriors will be back.
And the Warriors, we talked about them yesterday, and the Warriors too. So you made some reference, by the way, to this other team, Houston. What are you trying to say about Houston? You got some thoughts on that?
Oh, are you done on the Clippers?
I'm done with them.
Okay. Exactly.
I'm done with them.
They're not even worth spending that much time on. But okay, just to put a bow on it. Just to put a bow on it. You do like the hire. Okay, like we were both conflicted about the Doc firing. There needed to be a fall guy. for all the failures, not just this year, but in past years with the Lob City Clippers, and Ballmer thought that it was Doc, and okay, we got it. We know it hurt us, but we got it. But looking at it, at this right now, right here, right now, with that roster, to me, hiring Lue and Chauncey Billups, I like the move. Is it the right move? I like it.
Mike, I'll say I like the hire, but the hire doesn't match the message that we got from Steve Ballmer, unless Steve Ballmer says, don't believe everything you hear and don't believe everything you read. I never said that. So all the reports are wrong. I just wanted to move on from Doc Rivers. I don't know.
I hear you. And listen, maybe this is a situation where everybody wins, because Doc ended up with a 5-year deal in Philly. I told you I like that as well. I like that fit for him. I like what he brings to that franchise. So he ends up with a 5-year deal in Philly. A subject that we'll come back to a lot today, given our guests as well, Michael. Sometimes things just run their course. And even if it is somebody who was in the locker room and an assistant on the same team, I do think Ty Lue has an opportunity to step back, and now Chauncey Billups as well, to step back with a 30,000-foot view of this situation and say, okay, what needs to be done differently, given how we underachieved this past year? What needs to be done differently? I just destined never to see the conference finals. It's the same but remixed, so to speak. I can say I'm optimistic. I'm an eternal optimist. What can I say?
12-inch.
All right, but you want to move on.
12-inch extended
exactly.
mix.